Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for part number 3 of Day 9 Daily 373, where we learn to be a better gamer. We, in part 1, introduced the 3-gate Robo basics, how to get to 3-gate Robo, and then we have watched 4 games thus far where we have seen different ways to follow it up. Hell, I should begin loading up the 5th game right now. Doesn't that seem just too obvious? In the meantime, I wanted to note, of course, I will be streaming Skyrim for about 8 hours this Friday from 9 a.m. to probably 5 p.m. It's hard to have a 9-to-5 job like mine, I know. Well, that's good. And that's going to be great. And I also wanted to say that, sorry, Incognitus and Zeladon, that I haven't remodded you. I just did. I banned one of my mods. 2 of them, both of them. I would also like to throw out there that all bans that have ever happened ever on the Justin TV Day 9 channel are going to be lifted. All of them. Every single one. Better sorry than safe. Let's hop into the game. We're going to see EG's hook. Hook, 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 hook. EG's hook. Alright, sweet. EG Huck, spawning in the bottom position. Alright, we're going to see a last 3-gate Robo game before we start hopping in and taking questions from the Markio Question Snatcher. Here we see Huck doing the usual. He's going to get 1 Zealot. There's the 1 Zealot. He's continuing to build probes. Protoss vs. Protoss, by the way, was built largely on cutting a lot of probes early on. Huck doesn't do any of that silly shit. Just going to keep building probes. Here's the second Stalker that pops out now. There's Stalker 2. And as we can see, Huck is going to have a little bit of an issue because, what did we say last time? Well, if you go Stalker and Zealot without a really fast sentry or without a really fast 3rd unit, your opponent can literally waltz right in and bash down your front door, and there's not that much you can do about this probe throwing down this pylon. What good is your sentry now? Look at me now. Walking around. Yep, that sentry is so good. It's doing its tickle beam. 3 Zealots getting warped in. Important thing to note in these sorts of situations, morphin mostly Zealots. So, alright, we're going to see battles and battles and battles. This is something that will happen to you quite a bit. Battles and battles and battles. Morphing in additional Zealots. Losing that immortal battles and battles and battles and battles. And it looks like successfully we have defended. Oh, and we managed to take it down in battles and battles and battles. Largely Zealots being morphed in by Huck. Some nice force fields. And it looks like he's potentially defended it. And I now want to ask you if you are a man known as Huck. What is your advantage? I'm going to briefly remove this overlay. I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to ask you straight up. What is your advantage that you have right now? I want you to think really hard. Is your advantage that you have more workers? Is your advantage that you have more units? Do you have a lot of time? Do you have to play defensively? Where's your edge? These sorts of things. Maybe it's the tech that you have an advantage on. First, the obvious question is, well, what the hell did my opponent do? If you just counted your warp-ins, you'd see that there were periods where 4 units were being warped in at once. It's a 4-gate! Good, everyone's a genius, right? Interestingly, a lot of times when people defend a 4-gate, they incorrectly presume, I have a better economy. If we just come to the unit station, we see Huck actually has a worse economy. That's, I think, the big surprise a lot of people will feel. Is they're going to go, whoa, I could have sworn that if I held it off, I would be in better shape. I mean, I never stopped building probes, but obviously some damage was done. Especially when you kind of get in one of those like crazy situations. And you come out on the other side, your gut instinct is, I stayed alive, time to win the economy battle. Generally, you don't know. I'm not saying it is the case or isn't the case, I'm saying you just don't know. And you never want to play in a way where you don't know. where you're just like, well, I think I have more stuff. Let me just macro up and attack. It's a rough spot to be in. In particular, we saw Elfie get quite aggressive. The big thing that we have an advantage on our side is time. We have plenty of time. Our opponent can be doing exactly one of two broad categories. After his 4-gate fails, he has one of the two broad categories that he can be doing. Continuing to build units and just saying, screw it, I'm all in. Or anything else. Anything else does not include a lot of units. That's the important thing to note. He can either be building a shit ton more units or not building units and doing anything else. It is important to note that these two sets are disjointed, right? There really is not a big overlap in there. You know, I mean, a lot of times you'll see strategies like in Protoss vs. Zerg, very typical 3-gate Zealot Sentry expand. The Protoss player has some units, he got some Zealots and Sentries, he can attack with it, and he has an expansion, he can do both. If you've messed up a 4-gate, no, you can't really have both of those at once. If at any point you feel like you have a lot of time on your side, start exploiting that. I want you less to focus on the 4-gate that happened now, and more so to focus on this mindset of, holy crap, I have a lot of time. He may have gone 2-gate before gas and pressured you and it messed up. You have a lot of time. He may have gone 4-gate and it failed, like in this game, and now you have a lot of time. He could have gone 3-gate, Zealot, Immortal, all in, and you held it off. You have a lot of time. What Huck is going to do right now is he's immediately going to waltz to the Watchtower. Obviously, these sorts of pylon placements are good, but he insta-throws down a Twilight Council. If you come join me, you'll see he's not building any gateway units, though he can. He's getting Twilight Council and Nexus. Oh my god, don't you love going 3-gate Robo? After you've defended it, we don't even need to build more Immortals. We don't actually even need to use this robotics facility for the Immortal or the Colossus. The Observer is what's going to help us. Especially on a bigger map like this, we have super crazy, mad, hella, ultra, lots of time. We have a lot of time. We have plenty of time. So Huck is going to do the Blink Stalker plus Observer that we know to be so good, and he's just gonna sneak in an expansion. And don't overthink it too much. It's just 3-gate Blink Stalker because we have some time. Do we have a lot more time? Sweet. Expanding, expanding, expanding. Zealots and Sentries move forward, do a little poking and prodding, and now we have this Observer that's going to be running on in. Now, the reason that I selected this game especially is that it is a longer term game. We've seen some really fast games, you know, where you can do Colossus, Warp Prism stuff. We saw just the straight Observer Blink Stalker into a win, just one base type stuff. But we're going to see Huck do some more clever stuff in this game. In particular, this Dark Shrine. If you can get up this defensive expansion, getting this Dark Shrine up after you are going Blink Stalker, Observer is fantastic. And now Huck pokes in, sees, oh, there's a Nexus coming on up. He sees the 4 gateways, which we already knew. He sees the Observer popping on in. And Huck's going to do something I don't necessarily know how much I agree with. He cancels the blink and goes for this charge. I actually spent about 25 minutes conversing with a friend about why this could have happened. About why he would be canceling the charge in this circumstance. And eventually I just sort of boiled it down to not overthinking it at all. Just saying kind of straightforwardly, kind of basically, that we're in a pretty safe spot. And you know what? Speed Zealot, Archon, very solid for busting down force fields and ending games. Sure, we could go blink and poke up here and do some damage. Sure, we could maybe blink up and pick off these sentries, but you know what? Zealot and Dark Shrine for Archons, gonna be another effective kill play. I think Huck could have played this off very, very effectively. I think he could have just played it off really, really strong. I was trying to do some sort of crazy condition thing, like he starts blink, and if he sees this, then he cancels it, and then he gets charged. But I think Huck just sort of looked at it and said, nah, Zealot Archon's probably better, and just went with it. I don't have too much of an opinion. I actually think he could have let Blink finish, to be honest. An important tactic to just know in general, saying to yourself, I'm going to go Zealot Archon, and getting a Dark Shrine is a very important play in PvP. Because it does what I call forcing. The concept of forcing is if he doesn't do X, he auto loses. So I'm only going to be up against when he does do X. Very simple force in this case. I'm building a Dark Shrine. If he doesn't get a robotics facility, I just win because he has no detection. But if he does, I only have to worry about playing in that box. So hell, this Dark Shrine is an auto win, or he's getting himself a robotics facility, in which case, you know what, I'm going Zealot Archon. Pretty straightforward. The Dark Shrine, Speed Zealot. I don't want you to try to get the High Templar Archon yet. I want you to focus more on Dark Templar Archons. Because Huck can do these little tiny manipulations, maybe poke in, here comes the 2DTs. He's going to end up waltzing in with them. Here's some fun late game tactic. Whoops, it looks like observers are there. So this will end up losing, but you know what? Let's just go Speed Zealot Archon. The rest of the game is pretty dang straightforward from there. I especially liked this game because we opened 3-gate Robo. We even got an Immortal. And then we realized we had a lot of time on our hands. We just went, excellent. I'm going to go Speed Zealot, Dark Shrine, expand. I'm going to get 6 gateways. It's one of those things that seems counterintuitive. You would think, well, if you went 3-gate Robo and you rushed for the Robo, you should probably be getting some Immortals, or you should probably be getting some Colossi. Well, in this case, no big deal. We have a very effective army that at every point in time we can explain very clearly why we did what we did. And look at this, all DT Archons. One more round of Zealots. Force fields get thrown down, not a problem. Easy, easy push. Really, really solid. And I think especially effective since we see no Robo with our Observer. That means no Colossus. Excuse me, no Support Bay. So that means no Colossus. We know that if he's going 4-gate and expand and Robo, he can't really have his own Blink Stalkers or his own Zealots up quickly enough. Huck gets a nice little win up. Let's go ahead and take questions for a moment or two, and then what we're going to do is just end the frickin' daily. Then we're going to be done. And then tomorrow, we'll end up following up with some Amnesia. And, of course, tomorrow we'll be reviewing your attempts to go for the 3-gate Robo. Submit those to Tuesday at day9.tv. Tuesday at day9.tv. Markio, is your question grabber functioning? Yes. Awesome. So definitely try to use one of the methods that we saw, either going 3-gate Robo and then going for this War Prism Colossus play, and then going for Mass Immortal Expand, and then going for Blink, Stalker, Observer, and an Expand yourself. Try out all these varieties. Yeah. Let's see. Boom, ba-doom, boom. Ma Kuru says, Dear Day 9, I find it very hard to hold off 4 gates with just force fields. Any tips? The big thing is to not be afraid to get out a lot of Immortals. The Immortal, the reason you're getting the robotics facility before gateways 2 and 3 is so you can get those Immortals up for the 4-gate. You're going to have to rely on some good force fields, but the important thing is probably steering away from Stalkers to defend. Zealots are going to be the bulk of what you're making. A couple sentries for force fields and a bunch of Immortals, and you'll be in wonderful, wonderful shape. Those are the big things. So Schuler says, Dear Day 9, do you see Colossi slowly being phased out of PvPs? Colossi are in this sort of odd state where people are having trouble figuring out how to use them. I was so impressed with the way Elfie just got the Colossus and gunned his opponent. One Colossi, or Colossus, blasting right into his opponent's front. That was brilliantly done. I think the big reason we're seeing fewer Colossi is people are starting to realize the importance of mobility, Blink Stalkers, or even something as simple as saying, you are immobile, I'm expanding. I used to have this killer one-base Colossus push that now is almost obsolete because people see that I'm low on gateways, I'm getting ultra-fast Colossi, and they go, I'm expanding, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's really, really tough. I think that the response is to get Warp Prisms, so that way your opponent can't go too passive mode, or to expand yourself and go Colossus, to try to extend that time out, or to just gun it with the Colossus. I like that a lot. Norbersees. Unfortunately, his question got cut off because it was too long, but I'm going to read as much as I can because I know what he's talking about. Day 9, I feel like PvP is my worst matchup. One of the big problems I have is just knowing when I should feel relatively sure there isn't a 4-gate coming my way. Since I'm only in Gold League, it seems most timing I see on places like Team Liquid wouldn't really apply. The important thing is that there is when a 4-gate should start to hit your base, which is like between 6 minutes and then 6 minutes and 30 seconds. In that range is where you should really start feeling a crazy heavy 4-gate coming at you. If your own build is timed properly, you're gonna have an observer heading to his base. You're gonna know what's up. And if he's trying to 4-gate you and it comes at like 7.5 minutes, then it's just a bad 4-gate. And you need to be aware of when to throw down your force field. If you're really having trouble and you don't quite know what to do, try incorporating this little tip. Send your observer, not as a direct line to his base, but sort of walk along where his 4-gate would come. That's a pretty easy thing to do. Or don't make a decision until you get to his base. You can do things like your Robo finishes, and you just build one observer right away instead of the Immortal, and you can rely on your force fields to help keep you alive. The last thing I would say is do Elfie's opening. Chrono Boost a Zealot and 2 Stalkers. Spend 2 full Chrono Boosts on your gateways. If you put that pressure on him early, you will really get a good sense of what he's up to, and more importantly, you will push him back so that you are more comfortable getting that fast observer out to figure out what he's doing. I'm going to go ahead and take one more question. One more question. Amazing question by Ravis. Day 9, what is your opinion on the 1-gate Stargate Phoenix play Protoss players have been doing recently? I've been seeing players such as Oxlaw performing these builds, and it really intrigues me. Yeah, the fast Stargate builds are so good. Phoenixes are just becoming increasingly kick-ass. And it's again one of those mobility plays. Colossi are getting phased out. Well, it's because Phoenixes can counterattack and the Colossus can't do much about it. The Colossi can't attack the Phoenixes at all. I mean, let alone the fact that the Phoenixes can shoot the Colossus. I mean, even ignoring that, the fact that the Phoenixes can do so much damage independently is, like, really, really good. I think that we're going to hit a point where 3-gate Robo plays and the Stargate Phoenix plays are going to be kind of equal in terms of variations. People are going to be doing one of those two. The one that I think we don't get to see a lot of is when both players are going Phoenix. Hopefully that will become popular enough that I can get another variety of replays and do a daily on those as well. But for now, that wraps up Day 9 Daily number 373. Submit to me those games to Tuesday at day9.tv of you trying out these 3-gate Robo builds. Submit to me your losses so that way we can see what went wrong, what variation should have been done, because believe me, if you go down the wrong path, you can end up giving yourself an early loss. Tune in tomorrow for the review of this and another intro on these chained dailies. And then I'll be playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent until I'm done. And then I'll be streaming Skyrim on Friday. And then I'll be probably eating sushi for dinner. Nah, probably pho. Bye, guys. Thank you. You're awesome. Woo. This week's Fun Day Monday. Build a mothership before you start your first expansion. Submit to Monday at day9.tv. I hope I continue to remember to announce that. Damn, I'm so dumb. Damn, he is dumb.